Greetings to everyone. Today we are going to take you to a beautiful and amazing journey, the documentary of Chittorgarh.
Now, I like to introduce the Chittorgarh and the various part of the Chittorgarh. So, the various part of the Chittorgarh are as follows: Kirti Stamp, Kumbha Sham Temple, Kalika Mata Temple, Gaumukh Reservoir, Mirabai Temple, Vijay Stamp, Rana Kumbha Palace, Bhamashah Haveli, Fateh Prakash Palace. We have concentrated on the sculptures, paintings, architectures, history, some facts, and interpretation. Now, I like to say the map of the Chittorgarh is look like the fish. So, which type of fish is this? So, let's interpret it. This is look like the tiger shark fish. We compare with tiger shark fish because the attack of the tiger shark fish is very powerful, having the powerful jaw and the teeth which allows to crack the shells and clams, which is very hard present in the oceans. Likewise, Chittorgarh also defeat the enemy with the powerful attack. We also wonder to go back and ask the designer why he has designed this type of structure or it came automatically. Now I like to share some real facts or some information about the Chittorgarh. Chittorgarh is the largest fort in India. It is called as the World Heritage Site according to the UNESCO. Chittorgarh is in Rajasthan, which present at the bank of the river Blaj and river Kambali. Chittorgarh is originally called as the Chitrakut and the Marwar is the capital. The most of the days or the years Rajput has ruled this fort from 7th to 16th century. In 1303 AD, Queen Padmini and the women of court sacrificed their life at the Pyre of Fire, also known as the Johar. The origin of the fort is traced from Mahabharata, as people say Bhim had came to learn the secrets of immortality. Also, we see the evidence in the form of Bhim Reservoir. The carvings and sculpture of this fort are mostly depict the scene of Mahabharata and Ramayana. The main stones are used in Chittorgarh are red sandstone, white marble, black limestone, black and yellow rock. The most of the detail are carved on the plateau rock, and this fort also built on the plateau rock. The walls of Chittorgarh are made up of massive rock with the width of the wall around 4 meters, located on the top of plateau. The architecture follows the style of Mughal. At that time, craftsmen are have lean vision or the awareness about the praman means proportion. Mughal dynasty also left their impact at the Rajasthan, as we know the great painting in Rajasthan called as the Mughal miniature art. We interpreted the shape of the some walls of Chittorgarh is in the form of lotus flower because it decorative and the creative aspect. The architecture really inspire from the lotus. Then we also see the loophole along the foot of the wall which provides the multiple angle to fire. We also see the shield like structure because it protects the people of the fort. Now the some gates of the Chittorgarh. There are the 7 entrance gate, but the 8th one is not included in the 7 but it has the Pacific speciality. The gate number 1 called as Padman Pole. Gate number 2 is called Bhiman Pole. Gate number 3 is called Hanuman Pole. Gate number 4 is called Ganesh Pole. Gate number 5 called Yodha Pole. Gate number 6 called Lakshman Pole. Gate number 7 called Ram Pole. And the special pole which I have introduced before is the Suraj Pole because it opens at the east part of the fort and the sun opens from the east direction as the sun rises. So it's called as the Suraj Pole. It has the importance because the entry to the fort is easy from this gate. So many of the enemies enters through this fort. So it has the powerful structure. So now see the structure of this gate. The gate represents the 8 colors on the corner of the gate which represents the protection from the evil or the enemy according to the Hindus Vastu Shastra. This wall is looked like the shield to protect the people from the enemy attack. Also we see the holes in the wall to fire the arrows to the enemies. The gate is specially designed in such a way to kill or injure the animals of the enemy. It has the sharp and pointed thorns. We see the edge-like structure pop out from the wall called as the Boston architecture, which used to make the wall. It has the military perspective which used to defend the fort, which face difficulty to the enemy to climb the wall. Now there is the Ram Pole having the great sculptures as the Kalash which represent the defeat from the evil. There are the small hole to keep the deer to navigate the soldiers at the night There is the outline present on the gate too as the Rajasthani style. There are the animals like horses, elephant, which is used to welcome the guest according to the Hindu Vastu Shastra. The elephant has the specific name in the Hindu religion called as the Lord Ganesha. There is Nagina Bajar or the Moti Bajar. We had interpreted first it shows the small compartment and divided into a several places. So it's look like the shop because many of the people gather at the one place in the small compartment to buy the goods. The most of the goods comes in the form of moti. Moti is used for the ornaments and the decorative thing. So after it called as the Moti Bazaar. Now Bhamasha Haveli. Bhamasha is the person who helped the Maharana Pratap after the Maharana Pratap lost the battle of the Haldi Ghati, and Bhamasha helped Maharana Pratap to give his own treasure to rebuild the military and attack the fort again and capture again. And the Bhamasha is having the well good finance management and is also known for the literacy. Nowadays, Bhamasha is the name of the Bhamasha having the award in Rajasthan to honor the studious students of the Rajasthan. The interior of the Bhamasha Haveli, we see the basement like structure in the first image which shows the Bhamasha keep the treasure in that and hide from the enemies. We also redesign the defeated or the broken part by comparing the right side image. Now the Fateh Prakash Palace. The Fateh Prakash Palace we see the very good and the unity structure or the architecture because it presents the Hindu and Islam architecture. There is the dome and the Hindus chat. So it shows the respect among the region. We depict the one of the sculpture present in the Fateh Prakash Palace called as the Kali Mata because according to the Hindu religion there is the only two person having the three eyes. One is Kali Mata and the Lord Shiv, but we see this is a face of lady, so we interpreted is like Kali Mata and always Kali Mata having the three eyes open. But this sculpture is very special because this shows the closed eyes which shows the control of anger, make the peace. We see one sculpture, a man is playing with the two elephant and The elephant are used at that time to entertainment and play, and it shows to our generation keep playing with animals and love with nature. So we know we follow this trend. Like you see a boy is playing football with the elephant. We know the paintings of the Rajasthan, fard painting, miniature painting, Kazli painting. The Fateh Prakash Palace, also turned nowadays as a museum, it shows the various painting and the stories in the form of artwork or the showcase the scene. There are the some scene which show the costume of that period. We also find one sculpture which having the two eyes at the top and the mouth, and someone is standing at the middle. So we remember the Ramayana scene of Mahabharata of Hanuman and Asura, but we observe sculpture carefully, so we do not know this is Hanuman, but it's we see the four columns, so we interpreted it's like the gate and Dasi standing to welcome the guest as he's holding the Shanai.
Kirti Stambh. Kirti Stambh is the second Stambh in Chittorgarh. We compare the structure of Kirti Stambh with a trophy. As we know, Kirti Stambh is called Tower of Fame, and trophy symbolizes a gesture of fame. Because fame is a state of human which gives oneself the realization of one's achievement. Kirti Stambh, Tower of Fame, built by Jija Bhagirwal in 12th century during the reign of Rawal Kumar Singh for the pride of Jainism. This stambh is 22 meter high, and Kirti Stambh is dedicated to Rishabha, the first Tirthankar of Jainism. So a large number of followers come to the tower to worship Lord Adinath. And there is a stairway in the center which leads to the top and gives you a panoramic view of Chittorgarh. This tower is built in Solanki style architecture. It has many columned balconies, latticed arches, and intricately carved niches. The tower is garnished with number of figures of naked Tirthankars. In the lower story, images of standing Adinath are depicted on all the four cardinal directions, whereas upper stories contain hundreds of miniature images of Jain divinities. Kirti Stambh is built in a very ethnic Indian style of carvings. The bottom part of the Kirti Stambh contains elephants in every corners. As per Indian scriptures, they represent strength, wisdom, overcoming obstacles, and mind purification. Also, they interpret as taking the heaviness of the stump on themselves. The figures made on the wall of the stump is likely to be of the gods with the apsaras besides them. The corners also has a structure like lotus. The patterns of lotus are carved in a graceful way. As we know, lotus is a symbol of divine perfection. There is also 5 feet high statue of Rishabha in the center in all the 4 directions. The carvings made on this stambh is related to Jainism, especially the Digambara sect. These figures also interpret Jain saints. Mirabai Temple. Mirabai Temple was built by Maharana Kumbha in 1449. The Lord Vishnu has idols in its sanctum, mandap and pillars. Mira Temple is built as per the Indo-Aryan architecture in the premises of the Kumbhashyam temple. In the entrance of the temple, there is a carved statue of 5 human bodies with one head, which symbolizes the fact that people of all castes and creeds are the same and no differences exists. The temple has several carved pillars which adds beauty to it. These carvings depict the stories about Mirabai and Lord Krishna. A small area outside the temple, there is a chhatri dedicated to Swami Ravidas, who was the guru of Mirabai. His footprints are also preserved in there. Some of the carvings of Mirabai also include elephants. As in Hindu scriptures, elephants are also considered as powerful animals. On the rooftop of Mirabai temple, there is a sculpture of Krishna with one face and 5 bodies, which are placed in a different position. This statue teaches that there is no division on the basis of caste and creed among the people. Some of the carvings here may look like mysterious, as there is a figure of a man sitting on a dog. We relate this figure with God Bhairava, who has a dog as his Vahana. He can be placed there as he depicts giving protection and a strong character in Hindu scriptures. Or we can also relate the figure with Yudhishthira going to heaven with a dog, as many carvings in Chittorgarh relates with the Mahabharata. Also we see many carvings of Nrityangana, the dancers, carved in a graceful way, which can be an interpretation about a festival or a celebration, or how people used to express their devotion through music and dance. Also, these carvings are related with the Apsaras dancing in Angkor Wat. Also, there is a chhatri dedicated to Mirabai's guru, Swami Ravidas. As we know, chhatris in Rajput culture are used when one dies from royal family. Then that person is given a chhatri to show respect towards that person.
Vijayastham. It was built by Rana Kum in 1448 to celebrate his victory over Muhammad Shah Khilji. It was built over a period of 10 years. The tower is dedicated to Lord Vishnu and has sculpture of Hindu gods and goddess, musical instruments and other tools used in that period. The uppermost story contains genealogy of the rulers of Chittor from Hamir to Ranakum. The Jain goddess Padmavati sits on the topmost story, while the 3rd story and the 8th story have the word Allah carved in Arabic. It is made with red stone and white marble. The portraits of Jayata, architect of the tower, with his 3 sons Napa, Puja and Poma, are also carved on the tower. The dome, which was later added, was damaged by lightning and repaired during the 19th century. We tried to compare Vijayastham with a sword, as Vijayastham is also known as the Tower of Victory, and sword symbolizes power, protection, authority, strength and courage. So we tried to interpret the structure of Vijayastham with the sword. Also we choose sword to compare because the structure was built in memory of victory of Rana Kum over Muhammad Shah Khilji. It depicts the length of the sword, and we assume the handle of the sword inside the ground, as all the freedom fighters sacrificed their life and are buried in the Holy Land. Architecture made by red sandstones and white marbles. Red sandstones were used because it is naturally porous and makes it prone to erosion. It is subjected to water and wind over the increasing the life of the monument. And white marbles were used for the structure. Marble has seen its attractiveness evolve into beautiful structures. Vijay's thumb, as you can see in the picture, it follows very ethnic Indian style of carving on it. The picture you see is the bottom part of the stone. It has elephant figures placed on every corner. As per Indian scriptures, it represents strength, wisdom and mind purification. Also you can see 4 lions placed in 4 directions. It symbolizes power, courage and confidence spread in 4 directions. In this we observed many human figures holding weapons as well as the instruments. As we know, this is the interior of the Vijay's tomb. We see all the soldiers who are celebrating the victory, with king and soldiers gathered together and celebrate their victory. We interpreted the structure of Lord Shiva because there is Dhamru in its hand, also there is a snake in his neck. We also observed the hairstyle, it is like Jata that Shiva had on his head. Also it looks like he is performing Rudra Tandav. He performed it to express his grief and anger over Mata Parvati's Sati in Daksha's Yajna. Kalika Mata Temple. The temple belongs to the 14th century. Also it is said that the temple which is placed across Padmini Palace was originally a temple of the sun god, which was built during the 8th century. It was destroyed after the attack by Alauddin Khilji, and it's dedicated to goddess Kali, the symbol of power and valor. This temple is an architectural gem that belongs to the Prathira times. The upper parts of the structure are more recent. It predates Maharana Pratap. The goddess worshipped at this temple is an aspect of goddess Bhadrakali, clan goddess of Panwar, also known as Mori Panwar clan. The clan are the descendants of Chitrangana Mori who built Chittorgarh. Kalika Mata is a Kuldevi of Mori Panwar clan, and the entire temple is built on platform boast of Pratyahara. Architectural style. The ceiling, pillars and gates all have intricate designs. The figures carved on the walls of the temple is likely to be the gods and goddess with apsaras beside them. Also, they are individually carved to show its importance and beauty. The walls have very detailed work turning showing the ethnic Indian style of carvings followed from ages. Gaumukh Reservoir. The reservoir is one of the 84 water bodies of the fort and is filled with water to this day. Any reservoir on an average will take 1 up to 2 meters below surface. Together, water bodies present in the fort of Chittorgarh can store up to 4 billion liters of water, which is sufficient to last for an entire year. The nomenclature refers to a cow-shaped mouth which serves water to the reservoir. Also, Shivling and an icon of goddess Lakshmi adorn the base of the Gaumukh where the water falls. The Gaumukh reservoirs served water to the inhabitants for days together. The Gaumukh Kund, also known as reservoir, is admired by the visitors as a Tirth Raj of Chittorgarh. It is believed that after touring various holy places in India, Hindus need to visit the Gaumukh Kund in Chittorgarh to complete their holy journey. We saw the name Gaumukh refers to the cow-shaped structure. It is named so because the structure of Gaumukh serves the reservoir. The Shivling and the goddess Lakshmi is placed. We thought the Gaumukh, cow-shaped structure is built in such a way that the water coming out from it directly falls on the Shivling placed beneath it. Also earlier, people would say, save water in reservoir for further use, so when there would be enemy attack on the fort, the doors usually gets closed to avoid the threat of being killed. We wonder from where exactly the water come from and what difference it makes if the temple was not made in the basement. We wondered, where does the water come? In the mouth of the cow-shaped structure. And where does the water go as it keeps flowing throughout the year? But then came to a conclusion that the origin of the water is possibly an aquifer, because at some place beneath surface of the earth, layers of permeable rocks and its slits, long narrow opening or cut, can have water reserve. The water flows continuously from the mouth of cow, which is facing towards the shivling placed beneath it. It is believed that it is the sacred calf, gatekeeper and Vahana of the Shiva. The only most important reason for this is that it signifies that you should live your life facing Lord Shiva, which means whatever you do, good deeds or bad deeds, you should surrender it to Shiva.
Rana Kumbha Palace. Rana Kumbha Palace is one of the major attractions located within the Chittorgarh Fort near Vijayastham. Originally, the palace was built by Bappa Raval in 734 AD and later it was rebuilt by Maharana Kumbha. And this is where he lived a royal and a lavish life. As each and every corner of the palace carries some sort of history within it, as per the historians, the palace witnessed the birth of Maharana Uday Singh, who was the founder of Udaipur. The Rana Kumbha Palace was also the home of the famous poetess Mirabai. The Kumbha Palace has great importance as it is this place only where Rani Padmini underwent self-immolation, also known as Jauhar, with her 700 more followers. The striking part of this palace is the Tripolia Gate, which will lead to a large courtyard. The palace is raised high from a large platform which is in the shape of rectangle. The architecture of the palace is a mix of Rajasthani and Rajputana style. The palace is built with sandstone of unequal proportions and size. The roof and walls are jeweled with turrets and battlements. The palace also features canopied balconies, which is also known as Jharoka. As we observe a particular part of Kumbha Palace, we see that they have not done any different thing to make the palace look unique. As here in this image, we can see two different floors, though the floor is imaginative. We see the doors and the windows are kept at the same places as they are kept on the ground floor. So this makes that the architecture is followed in the same style. From this particular part of palace, we can assume maybe the other floors too have same architecture, but there is a possibility they might be different too. We don't know. As we talked about Jharoka, during the ruling period, the balconies were made on top of the floor and were made enclosed, which is known as Jharoka. This added beauty to the architecture of the palace and also used as protection. It also added an advantage for the women, as in those days the Ranis weren't allowed to present in front of many men and were not allowed to attend important meetings that were being held in Darbar. To have a seat, the Ranis or women used to sit in Jharoka so that they can also attend the meeting and also have a watch who is entering into the palace and who is going out. The Jharoka also acted as a source of protection. The design of the Jharoka is made in such a way that the traitors or spies cannot see what is going on inside the palace. The windows or the doors of the Jharoka are made up of jali work so that the rays of the sun and air can pass through inside. Jali work. This is a beautiful craft which involves extensive hand work. In those days, the jali work can be found in many palaces, temples and towers, and the form of jari work which was followed during those days was stone jali work. The jali work are small perforations, hole or piercing on the wall, and now it is also used in objects forming various geometric patterns. This was influenced from Mughal period, which was slowly spread to the northern states of India, and now it is the other part of India is also developing this form of work. From the picture, we can say that this work is a traditional craft which involves extensive handwork and also adds beauty to the whole architectural style. As it not only adds beauty to the architecture, but it also serves as a purpose of air conditioner for the buildings in Rajasthan by keeping the vicious sunlight out and allowing the cool breeze to blow inside and outside of the building. From within, everything outside is visible through the jali holes, but from outside, nothing is visible due to light differences. So, this also acts as a protection. Jari work are also often used as screens that helps to keep the privacy of the woman. The carvings made on the walls or windows or doors helps to create illusions. Kumbha Sham Temple. Kumbha Sham Temple was built by Rana Kumbha in 1448 AD. Kumbha Sham Temple is dedicated to Lord Vishnu, who is worshipped here as Varaha, his boar incarnation. The shrine was constructed by Maharana Sangram Singh upon special request of his daughter-in-law Meera. Though there is also Kalika Mata temple and Mirabai temple, Kumbha Sham temple is dominating in size. This temple is the place where Meera used to worship Lord Krishna, and Bhakti movement originated from this place. The architecture of the temple resembles to that of Kalika Mata temple. The temple is built in Indo-Aryan style, present a compact architecture. The temple lies on a podium. The temple comprises of an open course known as Pradhakshinapat, a half porch, or Ardha Mandapa, a full porch, or Mandapa, an interior compartment, or Antrala, and private chamber, or Garbhagriha. The temple has a unique pyramidal structure on its interior roof and a condescending tower. The archways in the temples are adorned by intersecting loops and patterns. Walls of the temple have a beautiful images of god and goddesses. The sculptures of 8 rulers of the land are also present in the temple. The image of Garuda stands under the canopy facing the temple. The image of the Varaha in the temple can only be seen at the back of Garbhagriha in the main sanctum. A new image of Lord Krishna and Balram has been placed recently. At the entrance, we can see a sculpture which is shown in a very peaceful posture and is holding a weapon in his hand. This sculpture, according to us, can be of Lord Vishnu, as this temple is made especially for him. In the right hand, we can see a Sudarshana Chakra. Below the leg, we can see a kid who can be an avatar of Lord Vishnu. The avatar of Lord Krishna, because we can see him holding a pot of Makhan in his left hand, who is also known as Makhan Chor. As we see, the architecture of Kumbha Sham temple is based on Aryan architecture, and how gracefully all the patterns are carved on the stones depicting the stories of Lord Vishnu.
So we came to know from this journey of exploring the place that there is a lot more ideas and thoughts which we need to see, which are beyond our thinking. But still, if we go in deep, we will always be able to connect the dots and will be able to factualize our assumptions and interpretations if we really go into the place. Thank you.